Hello and welcome back to Big Guy Little Tractor. In this video we're going to compare the use of the bucket with Edge Tamers and the rear blade, both of them on the BX2380. Before we go much further, hit that subscribe button. I do promise to put any money I make from YouTube, if I make any at all, right back into the tractor channel. I'll probably be buying the accessories either way, so I think that's a safe promise to make. Now, you can see here using the bucket with Edge Tamers, probably the main advantages are that you're going forward. It's a huge pain in the neck to constantly look backwards when you're plowing, so that's a huge benefit. The other thing I find with the bucket is that you can use it for a lot of other things. So as far as having one attachment, I would definitely pick the bucket over the back blade. As for the Edge Tamers themselves, you don't actually need them necessarily. You can plow with the bucket pretty easily without them, especially once the ground's frozen. I tend to use them most of the year though. They are pretty much idiot proof. They stop you from picking up gravel, and I plow a lot of grass areas, and I really find on the grass areas that when I don't have them, I end up taking giant chunks out of the grass. So I find them very helpful. In the end, doing this one section of my driveway with the bucket and Edge Tamers took 3 minutes and 57 seconds, which honestly isn't too bad at all. Although if you've seen the original video, I do go over it with the rear blade afterwards, and I show you how much snow is left. And moving on to the rear blade. Now this blade is a manual angle, so I just pretty much leave it slightly tilted to the one side the whole time. The one thing I will say is it's a little bit wider than the bucket. It's a 5-foot blade. When it's angled a lot, it's about the same size as the bucket, but generally speaking, it does do a little more snow at a time. The biggest thing is that it does a much cleaner job on the first round and sort of shoves everything else over to the side, so there's less cleaning up after, and the cleaning up you do is quicker. The biggest disadvantage obviously is that you're always facing backwards, and the other thing is it doesn't pile snow very high. So when you're actually pushing it into the snowbanks, which I didn't show you in this video because I do it a little differently in both of them, and I wanted them to be as equivalent as possible. But it basically only pushes snow a couple feet up, So when you have a long winter like we do here in Canada, it means your snowbanks aren't very high, and they can get pretty long pretty quickly. So even when I do use the rear blade, I tend to go out with the bucket afterwards and clean it all up anyways. In the end, the rear blade came in at 2 minutes and 17 seconds for this same part of my driveway. I feel like it was about the same amount of snow and everything, and it's a pretty good comparison. So about 2 minutes shorter. Is it worth turning around the whole time looking backwards? I tend to pick it most of the time when speed is what I'm looking for. But if you want comfort, I'd go with the bucket. I do have a push box on the way, so more comparisons will follow. Don't forget to subscribe for more. See you next time.